Hello and welcome to the fifth episode of Heart and How with Naomi, and I am Naomi Harry. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to bring you all these goodies, right? Because I have the most interesting thing to talk about today. I'm very excited about this because now this isn't the generic information about how you need to better your relationships with people. This is about you, right? So this episode, we're going to be talking about how to enjoy being single. And I have a long list of things that we have to go through together on how to enjoy our single years. We spend a lot of time resenting our singlehood. We spend a lot of time wondering when it is that we will have that magical love that we see on social media and that we see that our parents have and people around us have, and you just wonder for yourself. Now, while you're working towards getting that, here's how to take advantage of being single. Here's how to appreciate it, because there's special parts of it. There's so much to learn about yourself while you're single. And so even if society trains and grooms and conditions women to qualify for marriage and teaches men that all they have to do is work and make as much money as they can to get the woman of their dreams, you have to understand that we're in a generation where men want baby mamas, marriages fail, divorces are normalized, and in fact, settling down isn't guaranteed for every single one of us. And so while we're waiting for that to happen, I'm here to tell you that you're the most constant thing in your life. And how you treat yourself is most important. How you treat yourself is what is going to help you enjoy your journey through life, because that's what this is, our journey through life, making it as easy as we can. And so here are a couple of things that you need to do with your youth as a single person, because as far as you have a good back, you should be putting yourself to work. The fact is that you grow faster when you're not carrying a load. You move faster when you're not carrying a load. And that's not to say that relationships are unwanted load, but that's to say that while you're not responsible for a spouse, you're not responsible for children, even if there's still so much you can achieve even with those things, you will move faster when you're single. So the first point here is to educate yourself. And by that, I'm not just talking about getting a degree, getting a BSc, getting an MSc, getting a PhD. It's not just that. Because they keep throwing it in our faces that the billionaires of this world are school dropouts. And so education isn't just about the school degrees. While those things are important, and while if that is what you want to do, you have to do it, because while we're in school, you see those people who come from their marriages to class, people who have children, and you see how much more difficult it is for them to handle, being in school and getting an education while taking care of all these other people in their lives. You see that it's so much more difficult. And so if you still have that window in your life where you're not fully responsible for so many people apart from financially, you should be looking forward to getting an education with that time. And so apart from getting the normal tertiary education, you should be acquiring skills, learning trades. You should be reading books. You should be doing whatever it is that your hands can do. You should be exploring all your talents and finding out how lucrative you can make every single thing that God has gifted you with, every single thing that your hands can do. You should be learning how to amplify them and educate yourself into making every skill you're capable of doing better. And so that brings us to the next point. You have to create the person you want to be. Create that woman you want to be. Create that man you want to be. And in your mind's eye, put together a long list of qualities that the perfect you would have, the future you would have. And now this particular point, I find helps me with every step of my life, every milestone. There's this perfect version of me that I'm working towards. Now, it's different from having a role model, having somebody in your field, some writer, some celebrity, some politician or whoever it is, being your role model who has already made it in life. Those people have their problems. They have their life peculiarities, but this is you. The person you're looking forward to being is you. And so it is not impossible for you to reach that goal. Even if you don't get to exactly that point, you're on the journey to becoming that person. You're on the journey to becoming the perfect version of yourself. So what qualities does that person have? What is the physical attributes? What are the best versions of the person? And you just look forward to that. So with every step that you take, you know that you're moving forward to the future you, that perfect version of yourself. That brings us to the next point. Build your personality, right? So build that winning personality that everybody will know and love. You have to overcome your trials and tribulations to develop that winning personality that will defeat all. You learn these things by seeing those people around you. How are they perceived, right? Those people that you like. We have them around us. Those people who have social skills that are loved by everyone. What are those qualities in the people around you or the people that you love that you would like to have for yourself? Learn kindness, show love, be good to everyone around you. Love doesn't come naturally to a lot of people. There are a lot of people who you see that have to make an effort to be kind to the next person. We are all first selfish. And so learn to go out of your way for other human beings. Learn to treat people with care and grace. Be gracious to everyone around you. If you don't already have that as part of your personality, learn to develop it. Learn to understand the people in your workplace, the people in your career field who have made it. Those winning traits of them that have taken them up the ladder so fast. Understand it and incorporate it and find a way to build yourself into the perfect person. If you want to be funny, if you want to make people laugh around you, learn to be funny. Actually attempt to make people laugh, make people smile, give compliments here and there, everywhere. Be a pleasant person to be around, because that way people will gravitate towards you. And now this fourth point is a very important one, and it's one that I find that it's not really discussed most of the time. Now this is fix your relationship with family. And the reason I say this is because when you have a spouse, right? When you have a spouse and you begin to make changes in your relationship with your family members, it's easy for your family to blame your spouse for the changes they've noticed in you. By that I mean, there are, for example, men who make sure that they spend everything their family desires to get from them. You know, you're the breadwinner of your family and you get carried away with the things that you spend on them, that you're extravagant about it. There's no limit to the amount of care, loyalty, and money that you spend on your family. But you know that at the point where you bring a spouse into the picture, at the point where you're settling down, this particular thing you're doing will be inconveniencing, because you will not have the money to take care of the children that you want. You will not have the money to take care of the wife, the husband that you want in your life. You won't have the time to spend with your family, because with your now nuclear family, because every other person in your extended family is used to having you at their beck and call. And then you will have to make those cuts when you already have a spouse. Your family is not going to understand that it's you that made that decision. They're going to make sure that there is somebody in the picture to blame, and oh, she's a witch. Oh, she has come to turn his eyes away from us. Oh, she has corrupted him. Oh, he has corrupted our sister. And then another thing I want women to understand is, when you're settling down, there's a lot that it comes with that is unpredictable. So you have to create a structure in your family that is convenient for you to be around, because when you already have that distance, when it's already uncomfortable for you to be around your family members, somebody that comes into your life that wants to isolate you and take you away from everyone that you know and love and monopolize you will capitalize on the fact that you do not even like being around your family. And it will be so easy for them to pull you away from that support system. You have to create a comfortable environment with your family. All those toxic family members, those people, we have them. Everybody has those, especially here in Africa, where we have no way of telling an adult that they are wrong. But as an adult, you have to somehow set the boundaries before you have a spouse. You have to, as an adult, you have to make sure that your family is treating you like such. You have to make sure that you're not dreading every moment that you need to spend with your family. You're not coming home for Christmas and Easter and Thanksgiving and you're feeling bad because you know somebody's going to fat shame you. You know someone's going to talk about your weight. Someone's going to ask you why you're not married. Someone's going to ask you why you don't have children, why you're not successful. Someone's going to compare you to this successful and amazing cousin of yours or this friend of yours. Make sure you set those boundaries. That's why it's important to at some point disappoint your parents, because that way you teach them that even if this is not happening your way, I am going to make my decision, I'm going to make my mistakes, and you have to respect what I have to do for myself, even if you like it or not. You have to support me, kind of, you know, and they will. When you have decided to do every single thing that your parents want you to do, there are no boundaries, because they will come at you with so many decisions that they need you to make in your life based on what they desire for you. And whether we like it or not, the love our parents have for us at some point crosses boundaries and becomes superimposing are kind of toxic. And so you have to create a structure that works for you, a structure that feeds you, a structure that strengthens you. You have to make sure that those boundaries are healthy boundaries and that your family is in a beautiful place. You don't want to bring a spouse into your family for them to see you being demeaned, them to see you being insulted, them to see chaos. There's some people's families who are chaotic in the highest way possible that you can say. Your family goes into physical fights with other people. How? Fix these things before an outsider or your new spouse comes to see what's happening in your home. Fix it. And that brings us right straight into friends. Meet people, network, and build your circle. You know, the Christians say, he who wants to make friends must show himself friendly. If you want to have friends, you have to make an effort to do it. You have to look and analyze everyone around you. Analyze those people who are there because they support you and they're there because they love you, and the shafts, the people who actually hate you and are waiting to see you fail. We know that those people are around us. Understand who is for you and who's against you, and find a way to put these people to use, because people are the money maker. You have to learn people in this life. You have to know how people work, because should you be starting a business, the support system that you would need would be your friends and family. And so you have to get it right. You have to have a support system that works for you. And then another thing I wanted to say is that as women and men, you have to make sure that you understand fully the opposite sex. Having a relationship with the opposite sex without intimacy, without relationship as the goal, without looking to sleep with them. You have to understand how the opposite sex works on a platonic level and how to be around them in society and thrive. You have to evaluate your closeness with people. Support small businesses. Be supportive to the people around you, and so that you know that when it's your turn, this support will come right back around. The next point I'm going to talk about is your personal path, right? We're talking about your hobbies, your job, your career, and your vocation. Put every single education, passion, and desire of yours, every talent on the table, and make them work for you. So first, we're going to be talking about your hobby. Now, your hobby is a list of things that you do at your leisure that gives you pleasure, that is fun, that brings some kind of laughter into your life, that helps you have a good time, helps you enjoy every aspect of the activity. So it is you achieving the things on your bucket list. It's just you having a good time. Have a list of hobbies and make them part of your life. Now, you don't have to get money from it, but make sure that the things that you love doing are part of your daily life. Make sure that that excitement exists in your schedule. Now, we're going to talk about your job. You must have a job because bills need to be paid. We're adults now. A job is essential for each and every one of us because you do not want to be a dependent. Now, you cannot sit day in, day out without a source of income when you're fully responsible for yourself and others, in fact. So you have to have a job. Now, your job doesn't have to be your entire life. You also don't have to love it. Your job is you building yourself up to be able to take care of your needs. As long as it's not a toxic environment, it's better if it's something that you really love doing, but you kind of have to have an income that matches your daily expenditure or your monthly expenditure, or just something that keeps you afloat. Acquire skills, right? And make them serve you. And the next thing we're going to be talking about on building yourself is your career. Now, your career is something it's a job that you're passionate about, in a path that you believe in yourself that you can truly achieve, something that you believe that you can grow in, and that you can hate your job, but you cannot hate your career, because your career is part of your life's journey and your development plan. So you can decide that this is a job I'm doing for a while, and I might be in McDonald's for a month or two because I need to pay some bills, but this is not the career path you've picked for yourself. It has to be something that you're good at and something that you love, and it has to be something that you believe that you can do. And now the next one is your vocation. Now, your vocation is your divine calling, that thing within you, the core of you that nobody can truly take away from you, that thing that you want to do to make an impact and a change in the world. The thing that needs to be done, something to add some good in this world and just make it a little better. So you have that, and at some point you have to explore it, to decide on different aspects of things that you have to do. So you don't have to disappoint your parents and cut off from them and decide to quit everything to follow one aspect of you that is not going to be lucrative, because you don't have to make money from your vacation. It is just you giving right back to the society. So it doesn't have to be something that you cut off everything to do. Right now we are in a generation where if you don't have multiple streams of income, it's going to be very difficult for you. Everybody has to make money some other way that is not a 9 to 5. Our parents did jobs for 35 to 40 years, and that consistency and that stability fed them, and it was fine. But we are in a generation where we work to have a good time. We work to be able to pay for the good life that we desire. And so you have to make sure that you're putting every single thing that you can do on the table and finding a way to make it take care of the life that you want. We are not in an era where it is sustainable to drop everything and take care of children, because children will go away. They will grow up and they will live their own lives, and you will feel unfulfilled. You have to go for your dreams. I've seen a couple of stories of women who say, I used my entire 20s to have children. I used my entire youth to pop out children and take care of them, and they're finally gone, and I realized there's no content of my being. There's nothing that I do apart from give myself to others. So in order to avoid this regret, let it be that while you're single, you have created a path for yourself, so that when children come into the picture, when a spouse comes into the picture, they don't pull you out of something that you've already started, because you already have a life plan. You can do all these things at the same time as you're having children. You can make sure that you start a career, and then even if you stop it at some point because it's difficult to take care of children, you have something to go back to, because you already have these skills in place, this plan in place, this journey of life in place that you can exactly go back into doing, because there are already things that you know how to do. You're not picking yourself right back up when your children are in college. So to avoid that emptiness that you're going to feel from giving yourself to others only, you have, and I'm talking to women directly, because this is, men in families continue to build themselves. They continue to further their careers because, that feeds the home. But they continue to build yourself. But as a woman, it's easy to get carried away with being a wife, being a mother, and just being a daughter, being a human being to serve others. And you find that you have done yourself a disservice some years later, when everybody else is on their path. You look at people from your uni, and they are the billionaires, they're the millionaires, they're making money, they're buying things left, right, center, and you started from the same foundation, and you realize that maybe you have wasted your time. Now, we do not want to get to the end of the journey and realize how it feels to think that you wasted the entire journey. So you have to maximize and make the best out of it. And that's the point of all the content that we have access to right now on social media, is to teach you and to nurture you into making the best decisions possible. You have to put your singlehood to use. Enjoy putting yourself first. Enjoy the fact that right now all you're thinking about is yourself. Your family needs you, and you can send them some money and say, you know what, I can't show up now because it's not your primary responsibility. You don't have that for a long time. You have that for only a short period of time if you're lucky. Some people never get that chance. And so even if you find yourself later in life where you're single, you're divorced, you're separated, you're out of a relationship, you're out of your responsibilities, make sure you put that time to use where you don't have somebody to explain everything to. You have to learn yourself now that you're single, now that you don't have anybody else to worry about. Learn yourself. Take advantage of your mental stability and put your mind to work. Put your mind to understanding who you truly are, and enjoy that selfish phase of your life where it's just you to think about. Learn to love yourself truly. Live alone. I think this is one point I wanted to talk about. Now, if you're not out of the box yet and you still have this as an option, in your 20s, in your youth, live alone. Learn to live alone. Experience being fully responsible of every aspect of your life. Have the feeling of holding your own house key. Have the feeling of being naked in your house all by yourself, having nobody else to tell you, go put something on. Have that feeling of decorating your space, making it comfortable for yourself, cooking for yourself, developing cooking skills. While you're single, you should learn how to cook. You should learn how to feed yourself the things that you love to eat. You don't know how to satisfy your taste buds until you start truly cooking to suit your desires. And I mean that seriously. While you're out buying food, while you're in places, while you're being cooked for, it's easy to adjust the things that you like to what you can get. But when you're the one preparing these meals for yourself, there's just something about how you start to see food and how you start to take care of and nourish your own body. Learn how to remember all the appointments that you need to take care of yourself. Your medical appointments, your utility bills, paying for power in your house, paying for your water, paying for every single thing, every single utility that serves you as a human. It's not just living with your parents and having someone else fully take care of that. There's a particular kind of responsibility that you learn from being fully responsible for just you. So it is a small window in your life. Some people get that when they're in college, when they're in uni. Some people get that just right after. Some people get that for a period where they're doing a job out of state, where their family stays. But just find a way to experience this for a couple of months or, a couple of years, and just enjoy it. Enjoy that solitude. Now, this one is an interesting one. It is explore your desires. Now, every single thing that you want and desire to do, every single spot, every single tickle spot on your body, every single thing that is capable of making you feel good, you should know. And I mean this in every single sense of the word. You should understand fully how to pleasure yourself and understand fully what your body can take while you're single. So now it's you fully understanding yourself first before you have a spouse to teach about yourself. Because like I said, you're the most constant thing in your life. How do you expect to have a spouse to come and spin your world around and teach you how your body works? You teach them how this body works. You've been living in this body for a couple of years. This is the body that moves you around, serves you. You kind of have to know how to make it feel good. You have to know how to make it feel good. And now this is not me directly pushing you into anything that you do not desire to do. But in fact, you have to learn by yourself how to get yourself to that most pleasurable point, how to get yourself to a climax, how to navigate that feel good and harness that ecstasy, right? And in the same way, you also have to explore celibacy. I say this because while you're intimate here and there, and while you are in spaces where you have access to intimacy, there's some aspect of discipline that you do not explore. So while you're single, it's important to explore celibacy. Now, if you're looking forward to being in a monogamous relationship, you have to understand what it is to have access to sex and say no to it, what it is to have access to intimacy and have access to just being loose and say, you know what, I'm simply not going to do it because this doesn't serve me. So you have to explore celibacy. You have to understand what your body is like 6 months without it, because whether we like it or not, you will get to a point in your life where this will not be fully available to you, and you do not want your body to fully crash because you have been all over the place. No, I'm not even saying you have been all over the place. It could be that you have been in a stable relationship for years and you don't know what it's like to just be celibate. You don't know what it's like to be without intimacy or to be without somebody else in your life. So while we want that companionship through our journey in life, it's not guaranteed. Several things happen. Sometimes it's just that your spouse is sick and then you don't have access to that intimacy. It's just that maybe they're on a trip, or it's work, or you're just old. So many things can take out intimacy from your life. So you have to know how to teach your body to be without it. That is if it is already an everyday habit for you. Build confidence is the next point. Now, confidence is everything. Confidence opens doors. Confidence gets you that job that you desire, that you don't think you deserve. Now, the fact that you want something and you can go for it gets you into that door. So confidence is everything. Package, post pictures, document your life. Have a list of things that you want to do for yourself. Get those things done. You have the body of your dreams. You know that confidence is going to come from having this type of body that you desire. Work out, attain it. You know that confidence is going to come from you putting yourself together and dressing up in the way that you want to dress up. Make an effort to do it. Work hard and earn the money that you need to buy the good things that you want. Looking good is not about wearing the most expensive things or the designer things. It's about being put together, looking sharp, looking clean, smelling nice. That confidence is what will allow you to see places, see people, and walk into the room and let everybody feel that energy of you. You know, there are people that walk into the room and you have to notice them. You know that thing, you're just drawn to them. You just look at them and you're like, oh, this is a force to be reckoned with. Be that person, be that girl for yourself. Because when you build that confidence while you're single, nobody can come into a relationship and break you and build insecurities for you, because you already have that confidence. You have to go out there. You're a wonderful person, but nobody knows. You're a great person, but nobody knows. You're a kind person, but nobody sees you. Put yourself out there. Document your life. You know, create your legacy. Create your mama in a youth is what I would say. Let it not be that you're on your deathbed at 80 and your grandchildren are searching for pictures of you to show people that my grandma was beautiful or my grandpa was something. He was a very handsome man that the ladies loved. He was amazing. There's no picture to describe to people the kind of person you were in your youth. Why now? Why? So create that legacy for yourself. Let it be that you have pictures to remember your youth by. Yeah, we think that we have good memories and you always remember how you were, but pictures show you the clear picture of what it was. Literally. So you get old and you see that your body has changed. Through childbirth, your body has changed. You know that you had the perkiest boobs and the nicest legs, but there are no pictures to remember it by. You can just say it, but then you know that in your old age, you'll look at these nudes with much kinder eyes. These pictures will serve a purpose for you to appreciate yourself later in life. You know, have that created in your youth. Let it not be that somebody comes into your life and stops you from that. You know how there are opportunities that you have, the opportunities that you walk through the doors and get that will be restricted when you're in a relationship. Now, not that your spouse wouldn't want you to go out there and be with people, but there will be some kind of limitation on the kind of things that you can do when you're already in a relationship. Because how do you explain to your spouse that this person is just a friend and this is just an opportunity that you're going to get? And even if this person is kind of interested in you, they will only be a friend or they will only be a colleague. How do you explain that? How do you explain some places that you need to go to that might present the opportunity of cheating when you know that you have the discipline to stand it? You might not want to create that rift in your relationship, and not that you're in a cage, but it's just that freedom is kind of restricted because you have somebody else's feelings to consider. You have someone else's life to consider because they are kind of attached to you. I have a friend who had the opportunity to relocate to school in 2 separate countries, one better than the other, but because she had a boyfriend who was in UK at the time, even if this other better option would have served her, built her, and led her to where exactly she desired to go, because this was her original plan before this man came into her life. Her choosing to continue to go there, even knowing that he was on this other side of the world, would clearly be selfish. And so she decided to go to where he was, even knowing this was the less better option. Now, this is not to say relationships will present only options that are not exactly the best for you. It's just what is truly the best for you is not generally always the best for everybody around you. That's it. Before you get into a relationship, you have to identify and heal your traumas. You have to accept what those childhood traumas you have. What are those things that are in the core of you, tormenting you? What are those things that you have experienced that have left a lasting impressions? What is that trust issue that you have? What is that thing, that the abandonment issue, the grief that you have experienced, that is the pain that holds deep? What is that thing that hurts? Handle it, treat it before you get into a relationship and project it on your partner. And so in this same regard, understand and deal with your insecurities and jealousies. Now, while we like to think that insecurities and jealousies are things that are created from a place of instability, the fact is that all of us have them. Jealousy is natural. Insecurities are natural to be created by your mind. So there are things that you need to fully understand. Where does this jealousy come from? Why am I not truly happy for what this person is going through, even if it's good? Is it because it's not happening to me? Why do I feel this way? You have to first accept yourself truly in every shape, way, or form. It's just like I was telling a friend a couple of days, you cannot love yourself only when you have a flat stomach. You cannot love yourself when you're not fat. You cannot love yourself only because right now my legs look pretty and my boobs are perky. I said that again, but yeah, really, you can't love yourself only then, because our body is going to go through especially as women, our body is going to go through different stages in life, and you know that it's going to change. But the fact is that it's this body that keeps you alive. And so it's this body that moves you around. You have to love it irrespective of how it looks. So fully accept yourself. Now, if monogamy is what you're looking for, while you need to test yourself in commitments and relationship, you have to understand that you have to first be a good person before you can be a good partner. Understand that you are the prize, and be worthy of the best. Be worthy of that thing that you fully desire. And so this is where this episode comes to an end. I hope that this was helpful for you, because it was for me. And these are a long list of things that I desire to do for myself, whether or not I'm single. And I hope that it helps you as well. So it's Heart and Her with Naomi, and I have enjoyed being here. And so stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you so much for watching this. I know it took a chunk out of your day, and bye.